Hello and welcome guys to a new episode on SportPredictorFanatic. Today we're going to be reviewing my Tour de France picks and all the things about it. So let's just dive straight into it. We're going to start with the stage winners. I predicted some stage winners who weren't in the top 10 or weren't at my sprinting top 5. I predicted them and I got it totally wrong. Basically, I said Mathieu van der Poel. He just didn't have a good Tour de France, to be honest. He said it himself as well, so I can't say it. He just wasn't. But then we had Wout van Aert. I thought he might win one stage, but he wasn't in form either. Of course, he was aiming to win at the Olympics, so I didn't expect him to win in the third week. But I expect the first and the second week to do well. But it just wasn't. He just wasn't at his level he usually is at the Tour. But that's fine. I mean, it happened. So there's that. Then I had Bernal as another stage winner. He wasn't good. I just can't say more about it. He just wasn't good. I wanted him to have a good tour, but he's never reaching the same level as he did after that crash, which is a real shame because he was really awesome back then, but it is what it is. And then we had Derek G. Let's see how I got to his stage winning thought. That was basically, I thought he was not going to be able to be top 10. So he's not going to be able to drive a GC class, GC tour. So I thought when he find out he wasn't going to be able to do that, he will go for some stage wins or for a stage win. But he went for top 10, and as we know, he got there. So, well done to him, but I was wrong about this whole thing. But then, the people who I've basically missed who did win a stage, there was Bardet, who of course did his last tour and finally freaking won and got to wear the yellow jersey, which was really cool. He won the first stage and it was really cool that he did so. In his last tour ever, he gets the yellow jersey, and the emotions were clearly there. Of course, shout out to Frank van den Broeke, because he did such an amazing job with Bardet, of course his teammate, to go for this. It was so awesome, it's such an awesome moment, another one that I missed was Vauquelin. I don't know how to say it, but he won stage 2. Well deserved and hard fought, but I think nobody expected this, right? I didn't. I definitely didn't. Then the other one is Anthony Turgy. I think it's not an unexpected name here. I think he won stage 9. And with that, actually, the French could be pretty happy with 3 wins in 9 stages. And then another winner that I didn't per se expect, Carapaz. I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect too much from him. But he did very good. I expect him to go for a little bit of a GC role, but he didn't. He played perfectly. It was really he was really fun to watch. It was actually so fun to watch him go for the polka dot jersey and for the win. He both got it, so well done to him. It was really fun watching people do that. I actually hope in the future there are more big names that are not the biggest names that are gonna do this, because then it's gonna be such a fun thing. Very good. Carapaz got the win. And then another, I think, unexpected name, Victor Campenaerts. He absolutely deserved this win. He drove his butt off that stage, attacked at the right moment, and just used his time trial skills to stay ahead and win this one. Of course, the emotions after it said it all. I mean, it was very clear how happy he was with the win. Very, very clear. He's a little weird. He's a little weird guy, but I mean, the emotions just says enough there, doesn't it? But yeah, those are the stage winners that aren't in the top 10 or weren't in my sprinters thing. So yeah, we're now gonna go ahead with the sprinters. Well, I had a top 5 of sprinters. I had them ranked, but it wasn't really ranked. But I'm still gonna do them on the rank I did them on. At 5, I had Cavendish. Yeah, he of course got his elusive stage win. I actually thought he was going to get a stage win. I actually said it in my video. But besides this win, well, of course, with his record, it was clear he wasn't the best sprinter there. Like by a mile, he wasn't. But I'm happy he did. I'm happy he beat the time every day because, of course, he was cycling for his life against that. But yeah, he did well to get that stage win, to finally get that record. Yeah, proud of him. Actually, well deserved as well. And then at 4, I get Groenewegen, Dylan Groenewegen. He also got a stage win, and it was well deserved. But I didn't think he looked too great. It wasn't really his tour, gonna be honest. But I mean, it is what it is. Sprinting is, of course, a really hard job. Yeah, it is actually crazy. And then Fabio Jacobsen, unfortunately, somebody we didn't really see this tour. Of course, he got unlucky a couple of times, but yeah, he also had to leave like early because of an injury he got by falling earlier in another stage. I mean, it's a shame, but it happens in the Tour de France and it happens in sprinting that you get injured or something like that. So it is what it is. And then at 2, I actually had Arnaud Delis. Yeah, I expected way more from him, like way more. Yeah, I know he didn't have the best like train before him, but I mean, he's a great sprinter, and I know he was unlucky like a couple of times, but he just wasn't the fastest there. And then at 1, I predicted Philipsen, and I mean I was wrong, but I was right. I think he was the fastest sprinter. He got 3 stage wins, and I think 1 win got taken away from him due to him switching lanes. Yeah, I think he could have had a little bit more if he was a little bit smarter, and he could have got the green if he was a little bit smarter. Well, smarter. I'm not saying he's dumb or not smart or not good in his job, because he definitely is. I think he is the greatest sprinter at this moment. But there was one person I freaking missed, and that was Benjamin Girmay. But I guess nobody really was guessing this. He got 3 freaking stage wins, which was amazing, by the way, especially for him in a country like he is from. It is freaking like from Eritrea, I think he's from. Yeah, it was great. He actually got the green jersey and 3 stage wins, which was, I think, more than we predicted. I actually predicted someone else from his team to be the sprinter. But I think after the first 2 stages, when there was a chance, he actually could get, like, I don't know exactly how it was, but I think there was a chance he could wear the yellow, so they went for him in sprint. Then he won the sprint, and then with those points, they couldn't say to, like, we're just gonna stop you there. And yeah, I mean, they're gonna be happy they didn't, because 3 wins and the green jersey is not too bad for that team. But yeah, those were like the main sprinters I missed. But then we're going to my top 10 in the GC, and I actually think I didn't do too bad. At 10 I had Enric Mas. Yeah, I expect him to do better. Just gonna be honest, I expect him to way better. But he was nowhere to be seen. Like nowhere. Well, he was dropping from the pack, but you know what I mean. He got 19th in the GC and not really like close to a stage win. Yeah, I think he was like 1 hour and 11 minutes off from Pogacar, of course, the number one in the end. Then at 9, I had Almeida. Yeah, for what I expected was like just in the tour they did before the Tour de France, where Almeida and Yates finished 1 and 2. I expected Yates to be a little bit better than Almeida, but yeah, Almeida was great, like for real great. Yeah, he did he did absolutely great and actually became 4th, so he was in the top 10, but just higher up than I predicted. Then Matteo Jurgensen. Yeah, I expected him to do really well, and he actually did. He was, of course, in the tour for helping Vingegaard, and if Vingegaard fell back, he could go for a stage win. But yeah, he got 8th, so I was exactly right. And he was, of course, close to a stage win, but that just got taken away from Pogacar in like the last 2 kilometers. But yeah, it wasn't a surprise for me, but I still think it's surprisingly good for someone who's like the first time in the tour. I think it is. I'm not sure, but I think it was. But yeah, he was really good. Then at 7, I had my first really wrong prediction. Well, with Moss as well, but this one was really wrong. I had Pidcock. Yeah, I thought he was going to do well. Not as good as his teammate Carlos Rodriguez, but I thought he was going to do well. But he failed and actually left the tour early doors. Yeah, sorry, he just wasn't good enough. Yeah, just gonna be honest, bad pick from me for sure. Then at 6, I had Adam Yates. And I was actually completely right with this one, although I did said he was going to be higher than Almeida, but of course it wasn't the case. But coming 6th as helper is really freaking good, especially because he was actually used. Like Almeida was sometimes not used because Pogacar already went when Yates did his last turn. So yeah, I think that's also why Almeida got higher, but of course he deserved to be higher because he was just better than Adam Yates. But then at 5, I had Carlos Rodriguez. Yeah, I thought he was going to be the fastest after the big 4, but he was not great, and he was actually struggling. But I think the whole Ineos team was just struggling. He did become 7th though, which is of course still good. So yeah, he was in the top 10, but it's not quite where I expected him. Then at 4, I had Evenepoel. Yeah, I actually expected him to be the worst out of the big 4. But of course, Roglic was a little bit worse at the moment he fell out of the tour, so we can't really say it. In the end, Roglic was still gonna be before him. But yeah, Evenepoel finished 3rd. He did a great job and even won a stage. I think it was a time trial. Yeah, it was a time trial. It was the first time trial that he won. Was it the last one? Ooh, no, it was the first one. Pogacar won the last one for sure. Yeah, I was really impressed by him, but I still have the feeling he's not going to be able to win the Tour de France ever. Just because of his explosivity. Like, he isn't explosive, that's what I mean. And sometimes you need that explosive to attack. And he can't really at the moment, but it is what it is. And then at 3, I had Vingegaard. I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't expect him to be this freaking good. I expected him to be way worse than he did, and fair play to him after his crash to be back like that. He even won a stage here, and of course the emotions after that stage said enough. Like, he didn't expect to actually win the stage of Pogacar as well. Like in the sprint against Pogacar, I mean, at that moment, I actually thought Vingegaard might even win. But of course, after that, it was clear who was going to win. But yeah, he became second in the Tour. So well done to him. And then at 2, I had Primoz Roglic. Yeah, I expected him to become second due to the struggles of Vingegaard and Evenepoel, but he of course fell out of the Tour, as I just said, but he looked to be battling. I think he was going to battle for the 3rd place, I have a feeling, with Evenepoel. But yeah, he had to step out. Nothing to say there. He looked at least top 4 worthy, but can't really say anything at that right now. And then at 1, I had, of course, the final and the winner as well, Pogacar. I mean, what else can I say? What a freaking monster that guy is. 6 wins, just like in the Giro. Yeah, there was literally no stopping him, unless that one time in the sprint and that one time in the time trial. In the sprint, I mean Vingegaard, and by the time trial, I mean the win of Vingegaard. But there was just like no stopping him. 3.5 minutes down on the start of a climb, no problem. Pogacar will drive the front group like away, and it was amazing. It was amazing to watch. I think the drugs allegations need to stop. I think he's pure. He's just a good. But that's also because I don't think he sees it like a normal. He really sees like cycling as a game. I think also being 2.5 minutes down to the front group, the breakaway. That's what I was meant to say. 2.5 minutes attacking at a kilometer of 10. It is just his style, because he just likes that challenge. He likes to challenge himself. He likes to challenge others. He likes to do unexpected things. I mean, it's really fun to watch him. I think he's totally fine, but we will find out maybe in a year or 10 he will be coming out and with doping and everything is done. But we'll see. But for now, I mean, he's a monster. Cavendish was saying to him as a joke, please don't take my record, but it could actually not be a joke at this moment, for fuck's sake. But yeah, the people I actually missed in the top 10 were Landa, G and Buitrago. I'm going to start with Landa. He became 5th, and I actually didn't expect that, because he hasn't, as the main man, he isn't good enough, because he has shown that as the main man he crumbles under the pressure. But now he was there to work for Evenepoel, and he fucking did great, becoming 5th. I mean, fair play. Again, fair play. He did really well. He showed his class, which was perfect. Then I had G, as talked about earlier. I expect him to go to not be able to get in the top 10 and therefore go for stage wins. But he did really well to come in the top 10. So fair play. And then the other one I missed was Buitrago. I actually even didn't consider him top 10 material. But yeah, he did better than I expected. He latched on to the main group long enough every time to be there. So yeah, fair play to him. But yeah, with that, those were my predictions. That was the Tour de France. It was actually quite a fun Tour de France, although of course it wasn't that exciting who was going to win, and the second place was it was pretty fast. Also clear that Vingegaard was better than Evenepoel. So I think that was pretty fast done. But I still think what I hoped for was a little bit less wins for Pogacar, a little bit more fight up front, from the front groups, from the attacking groups. But Pogacar really deserves it with how he drives. Of course, he had a great team with him. So fair play to everyone. I think the parkour was great this time. Time trial with climbs, with sprints. I don't like really. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like the sprints. And of course, one classic, kind of classic stage, which was actually quite exciting. I love that kind of thing, where you just put it in. I mean, why not? I mean, Tour de France is all about being the best cyclist there is, and I think you then gotta be able to do all the categories. So I think a classic in there is not wrong. But yeah, actually really fun. But yeah, those were my predictions. Let me hear from you what you think, what you did think of the Tour de France. But for now, I'm gonna leave it here. So I want to thank you all for watching. Please have a good day, and I will see you.